resources needed? If I remember correctly, you said early on that you believe the population of Southern Sudan may be 10 million.
More than that.
Or more. What is needed from the world community, particularly the United States, to incorporate 10 million people?
More than 10 million.
More than 10 million.
Yeah. What we were actually focusing on was that if we were to have a meaningful exercise of the population census,
Of the census count.
that would be best done after the repatriation and resettlement of the refugees and the internally displaced persons who are now in northern Sudan. They should have been first brought back to their original home areas.
But Mr. President, do you have sufficient resources to bring those people down here in order to
We don't have them. We don't have the resources. This is why we appeal to the international community to assist the UNHCR to repatriate these people so that they come back home.
Mr. President?
But again, the issue, the exercise of the population census should have been done after the demarcation of the borders, so that you know the areas where you are counting people and you know that these are the right people who are being counted. The demarcation of the borders has not been done.
And is it, Mr. President, is because the central government is fluid with the borders, they're constantly moving them, or is there again something the United States can do? I remember the same problem with Kosovo, and they used the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base conference to help define the demarcation lines. Has the United States offered that type of assistance? Satellites can do that.
No, they have not.
They have not.
They have not, and the borders actually have been changing throughout, because whenever and especially the time when the oil was discovered in the south, that was the time the borders started to move southwards. And the borders have been predetermined, even now that there is a committee for the demarcation of the borders. They do not know what to do, because borders has been predetermined by the National Congress Party and the previous governments. They want certain areas that belong to Southern Sudan to become part of Northern Sudan now, either because of the oil or because they are agricultural areas. This is going to be a problem. The Masiria who have been fighting and the Resegat who have been fighting alongside the government forces during the war were given promises of taking the Dinka land and for their permanent settlement, because every year the Masiria will have to come to the south for grazing and will remain in the south for about 8 months, and then they go back to spend the rest of the few months in their area, and then come back. So instead of this movement, they were encouraged by the government to depopulate the whole area, devastate the area, kill and do whatever they have to do in the area, and so that the land remains with them. This is why there are these skirmishes now, that they want to come in to take the food. And River Lol is very clear on the map. They took River Lol to be the border between the north and the south. And if that happens, of course, all of us, those of Riek Machar, will become part of Northern Sudan. Will not be against Southerners. and I will have no reason to become the president of the government of Southern Sudan.
And you will not be allowed to vote?
Well, the people will then challenge me not to even to contest. Yeah, because I will have no legitimacy in that. So we are actually fighting to correct this imagination of the people of Northern Sudan. What I did this last year was to tell the governors to allow the Arab nomads to cross to Southern Sudan with their animals for grazing, but on condition that they don't come with their guns. They leave their arms in their villages and they just come without guns. This was accepted by the Rezegat in southern Darfur, and they left their guns. They are now in the areas of Nyamler, wherever. He knows the area properly. They have come there. Nobody, no fight with them, because they came without their rifles. And so the Masseria decided to come with their guns. This is why they are fighting today. The National Congress Party, especially the president, said that the Masseria needs protection. I said, why do they need protection?
Right. From?
And from who?
Yeah.
Because we have agreed to pull away from the borderline, the forces. Wherever is disputed, the dead.
I just had one other question about the census. Who does the immigration of counties? Who will be asked to do the count? Will be an international group? The Southern Sudanese? Who will do the actual census?
Both northerners and southerners. Yeah, Sudanese plus foreigners who will be observers to see how the exercise is made.
Mr. President, what is the sort of formal and informal contact between you and Khartoum in terms of negotiations? How often is there good?
I tell you myself, I have my office there, the office of the first vice president, as the second man in the country. So I stay there, and whenever I'm there, we sit together with the president and vice president Taha. We discuss the issues that we have not yet implemented on the agreement, and we have formed small committees between us from the National Congress Party and from the SPLM, always to go and iron out whatever issues that we know need to be discussed, and then they come to us with whatever difficulty or whatever solutions that they have arrived at. Then we come and bless it till it is a good compromise. We bless it and then we continue the So our connection is always on a daily basis when I'm in Khartoum. When I am here, there is a minister in my office that keeps me in touch with the president and the rest of the government of national unity.